Hello everyone, Kaoz here, and welcome to another old school RuneScape video. If you haven't been paying attention to announcements, the game is about to receive some massive changes in the form of new content and rebalancing items to give older gear some time on the spotlight. In today's video, we will go over content that might go live soon with or without a poll, and some exciting concepts by JMods thanks to an event called Game Jam. Boys and girls, if you like any of the things we will talk about in this video, make sure to subscribe as I will be covering all of it as soon as it goes live. Make sure to drop a like for the YouTube algorithm and join our Discord with the link in the description. As any video talking about potential future updates, none of what you are going to see here is 100% set in stone, so keep an eye out for Jagex's social media. And for the second part of the video, which we will talk about Game Jam projects, if they make it into the game, they might have a completely different look. If you remember, the Fortis Coliseum is technically the Tiscal Trials, aka the Blue Inferno, which was also teased in a previous Game Jam, for which I made another video about. Without any further ado, let's talk about what might be coming in the game in mid-2024. I was going to start with upcoming changes to Magic, but last week's update was way too massive not to talk about. I will quickly go over the most important changes because I have made a video about these proposals before. You will be able to see the rest of the changes on screen. Thanks to the new agility shortcut north of Shiloh Village, nature when crafting with an achievement diary cape is now above 70,000 experience per hour. Check the teleport sub-menus in the menu entry swapper plugin for a one-click teleport to Shiloh Village, and grab your best to teleport to a bank for more essence. Most agility courses in the game have received increased experience per hour, and you can now find marks of grace from other agility training courses that aren't rooftops. The Brimhaven Agility course now gives both experience and reward tickets, so you don't have to pick between experience and the Blue Graceful or the Pirate's Hook for collection logs. Achievement diary requirements were removed from a ton of stupid shortcuts, and we also had a bunch of insane ones added to the game. My favorite ones are both the DK shortcuts to get to their room much faster, and by far the number one change is a shortcut to the VLD Cave Master Clue step, which went from a solid 3 minutes to under a minute with 96 agility. For Slayer, if you have unlocked the task storage for 1000 points, you can now store tasks for free as opposed to the previous 50 points per store. Vanica and Sheldar have had a ton of cringe monsters removed from their assignments, and the low-level Slayer Masters now have a lower minimum and the maximum number of creatures to be assigned. Some quick ones for thieving: pickpocketing gnomes, paladins, and heroes will now see a lower failure rate, and you can now obtain clue scrolls when stealing from them. And various stalls in the game have had the respawn timers reduced for better experience per hour. For all of you who still need the Rocky Pet, Fremennik stalls just got much better. For a ton of insane changes to mining, Clue Geodes are now more common, Amethyst rocks give you 2 or 3 rocks before depleting, all mining gloves have better effects and had their cost reduced, and one of the best changes was to the Motherlode mine. For 50 golden nuggets, you can now unlock a hopper upstairs, which will naturally give better experience per hour, as well as veins in the lower and upper areas lasting longer. Solo Volcanic Mine is more viable. There were some excellent buffs to the Blast Mine to make it more competitive in terms of experience per hour. And finally, you can now talk to the NPC outside of Zalcano to focus on either experience or resources. And it's now so crowded that I barely had any time to throw 1 or 2 rocks before it goes down. On the topic, and if your team has enough damage, you can now finish her in a single rotation. These are just some of my favorite tweaks, and I encourage you to check out the last week's update to learn all about the little intricacies about the massive changes the game has just received. The very first thing we will talk about are upcoming changes to combat items, most importantly to magic armor. Because it looks like these are not only going to be unpolled changes, but will hopefully make it into the game quite soon, after Jagex has taken enough feedback from the community. I say hopefully because I literally cannot start working on my 2024 gear progression guide until these changes go live. So Jagex, please hurry up with these. Anyway, if you're out of the loop, a short explanation of this rebalance to magic items is that more recently, there has been a lot of discussion about the occult necklace being a little bit too powerful for a single item in your gear, especially because it's low cost. These complaints were amplified when the Tunic and Shadow made it into the game, and the Occult Necklace went from 10% bonus magic damage to 30% and 40% inside the Tombs of a Mascot. As much as I like seeing big numbers on the screen, even I can agree it's a little bit too much. What we need to remember though, is that the Occult Necklace was added when it was, quite literally, the only item in the entire game that provided percentage magic damage bonus to make magic a little bit more competitive with melee and ranged weapons. Things like Ancestral Robes, the Imbued Magic Capes, and Tormented Bracelets, just to mention a few, were added years later, only to add on to the damage. And when the Tunican Shadow hit the game back in August of 2022, I guess that's the straw that broke the camel's back, and not until recently, people started questioning the Occult Necklace. This takes us to the actual proposal, where pretty much all of these changes come from redistributing the Occult Necklace's magic damage bonus to other items, bringing its power down from 10% to 5%. This might sound like a lot, but Jagex plans to give other items increased magic damage, just so things feel the same once you have unlocked every major magic item in the game. You are seeing all of the potential changes on screen right now, and all of these are important because, not counting the Zuriel set from Bounty Hunter, the only robe sets which provide magic damage bonus are Ancestral and the Virtus. With this change, almost all of the robe sets below the previous two will be receiving some love, giving players a higher incentive to upgrade as soon as they level up their defense to equip new items, get them on the Grand Exchange, or get them on an Ironman account. Other than robe sets, items such as the Elite Void set, the Seer's Ring, the Mage's Book, Ancient Wyvern Shield, and even the Eternal Boots will see buffs in their magic damage bonus, along all three offensive prayers from Magic Combat style. For the best in slot Giga Chads, remember that Augury's proposed 4% magic damage bonus will not to triple or quadruple because of the Tunican Shadow, since it only applies to other pieces of gear you are wearing. I feel like this is a step in the right direction, and as much as some people might complain about this, remember that all we can do is adapt to these changes. When the blowpipe was nerfed, a ton of people were also pretty upset about it, but it's not something you hear people talking about today. Some other changes I will quickly mention to move on to the juicy part of the video. The Void Wicker was also supposed to be nerfed, but this was scrapped because, surprise, a ton of complaints on both the Twitter and Reddit. Jagex mentioned increasing the special attack energy cost, giving it higher accuracy against your target but removing the guaranteed hit, and overall it felt like an unnecessary change, even if it meant opening the way for more special attack weapons in the future. Something I mentioned in a previous video were changes to the Soul Reaper axe, including not losing stacks when swapping weapons, starting to lose stacks after 12 seconds instead of 6, and naturally healing you back for every stack you end up losing because of inactivity. We also have massive buffs for the Elder Maul, and basically making it a more powerful Dragon Warhammer, elevating its price above 100 million GP overnight. A buff to the Inquisitor's armor will give plus 7.5% accuracy and damage only if you are wearing the Inquisitor's mace, and 2.5% without. A quick nerf to the Ancient Godsword would make the healing from the special attack 15% of your target's maximum HP up to a cap of 25. And the Dragon Warhammer being dropped by Lizardman Shamans at a rate of 1 in 3,000 instead of 5,000. Items aside, we have changes to minimum hits which will make us hit zeros less often, removing auto-cast delay for ancient spells, and giving us guaranteed max hits against baboons in TOA by using the style they are weak against. Finally, Jagex were talking about implementing dupe protection for nightmare items, and they are also going to scrap that but making all of the uniques just a little bit more common, so Ironman accounts and collection loggers don't go as dry. So that is it about the most important combat changes, and remember that defense and weaknesses rework is still being planned. For now, let's move on to some huge updates potentially coming with the second half of Valimor in summer of 2024, according to the roadmap. We will first look at the upcoming Herblore Activity, which offers some interesting new training methods and rewards for mains and irons alike. This is a super early look at both the gameplay, mechanics, and rewards, and all of them are subject to change, even after the first round of feedback. This new activity will have you training Herblore by doing something named Alchemy. And no, not the spell we all know and love. This new method is aimed at people with at least level 70, although players with a lower level are still welcome to join. Important to mention that Jagex is not making this higher experience per hour to avoid shifting the meta too much. You need to bring your own herbs to process into basic elements, and using these new items to brew potions in the area. You will have orders which you will be able to see in an interface, and you have a set amount of time to fulfill said order. All potions will have both a base component and a modifier. Once you pick an order, break down your herbs or unfinished potions using the refiner in the area, and then take them to the mixer. This will turn them into usable elements to create the finished product. Here's an example of what Jagex suggests for elements you will be getting out of herbs. Then you will need a combination of said elements to create potions. Finally, there will be different machines in the area which will let you process your potions in slightly different ways, including a machine for passive but slow processing, one for active but fast processing, and a final machine that will process items immediately, which might have a catch to it. If the gameplay doesn't sound super entertaining, Well, you might still want to do it because potential rewards coming out with it look absolutely amazing. I'll keep the description short to move on to the next topic. First, we have potion packs giving you different types of potions scaling with your Herblore level. Potion of Goading, which works similarly to an aggression potion in RuneScape 3. When you drink it, not only will you somewhat reset the aggression timer, but non-aggressive monsters will attack you in a 9x9 area. The Regent's Pouch will let you store secondaries like an herb sack, and you will use these items while making potions, so no need to make batches of 14 anymore. The Alchemist set will provide a 10% chance to save secondary ingredients when making potions, but oddly enough, Jagex changed this effect to the goggles only, making the rest of the outfit for fashionscape purposes. The Amulet of Chemistry imbued with more charges will provide 15% chance to make a 4-dose potion instead of a 3-dose. An item for potion storage is also on the table to free up your bank space. The most interesting reward of all of them is a tradable pre-pot device, which will let you make a preset of potions to pre-pot for your bossing trips or raids. To close out the Herblore activity, thanks to the most recent developer blog, mods Sarny and Squid say that they might include a new secondary ingredient to this activity. It will be used alongside a new herb to create a powerful new potion, both of which we will talk about next. While the activity itself sounds a little boring for people with high Herblore or even 99, the rewards definitely sound like something I will be hunting for as soon as this activity drops. And now for what you see in the thumbnail, we are going to briefly talk about the new proposed group boss for the second part of Alamore. This will be a massive serpent-like boss by the name Huecoatl, which Jagex seems to have culturally appropriated from the Quetzalcoatl, being an Aztec deity. We don't know much about this boss or the fight because the first blog about it was uploaded the day of me making the script on May 7th, and it makes sense for it to remain a mystery up until release. For now, Jagex tells us that you will join a party of dwarves, attack part of the boss sticking out of rocks while avoiding hazards, and you will have to climb a part of a mountain to attack the head. Concept art for this boss shows that it will be a 7x7 model, which I think will be the biggest enemy in the game so far. The important part about this boss will be its rewards, and first we have the Tome of Earth and Muddy Pages. This will work exactly as the Tome of Fire and the Tome of Water, along their respective pages, working as Earth runes, using up charges whenever casting offensive Earth spells. And these will also increase damage by 10%. We are also getting a brand new wand-type weapon, but this is going to be massively changed from the initial proposal. The dueling wand was going to be a 3-tick magic item with its own spell, but the community heavily criticized how weak it seemed. Instead, we might be getting the first ever magic-type Dragonbane weapon, as the wand will be able to cast any spell in the standard spellbook, but it's going to have the Dragonbane feature, just like the Dragon Hunter Lance and the Dragon Hunter Crossbow. Mod Sarny and Squid also mentioned that this might need a little bit of work before a formal proposal, because with the upcoming changes to NPC defense, this 3-tick magic wand along an elemental tome, and using a surge spell on dragons, could potentially make it a little bit too powerful despite being labeled as a mid-game item. This will also guarantee its usefulness when fighting the new group boss. The third and final reward so far is a new seed which will yield a new type of herb. When used with a secondary ingredient from the Herblore activity, and with a high enough level, we will get a new brew in the game by the name Prayer Regeneration Potion. I know you probably hate hearing about it, but this will also work similarly to another potion in RuneScape 3 called Prayer Renewal. Basically, when you drink this potion, it will regenerate 1 prayer point every 12 ticks for 8 minutes. This gives us a total of 66 prayer points over the duration for a single dose, meaning that one of these will provide a maximum of 264 prayer points over 32 minutes of use, as opposed to, for example, a prayer potion healing 33 points at 99 per dose for a total of 132. If they pass, these new potions will surely be something you want to take on your bossing trips, but maybe a maximum of 2, so you can also bring prayer or super restore potions for immediate healing if you are low on prayer. To close out this video, I want to go over a few projects that JMods have been sharing on Twitter, but I'm not going to talk about every single one because, remember, these are just concepts that may not even make it into the game. I think we all remember how we got blueballed into thinking dogs were coming into the game as new pets, but we are still waiting for that day to come. The most interesting one, in my personal opinion, was a project by mod Elena. She shared an in-game bingo board for clan members to organize their events in the actual game, and every single thing would be tracked and registered automatically when you get what you were looking for. This will surely reduce the amount of drama in bingo events, although a bingo without drama is not really a bingo. Mod Rise comes in with a concept that will charge your items as you withdraw them from the bank, up to a customizable cap of your choosing. On the topic of Chargescape, he also suggests a rare drop from TOB, which will let you have a Fire Well in your POH to charge your scythe at home. For all of us skillers, mods Halo and Ash bring us an extra setting to the bank, which would allow us to lock inventory slots so you don't deposit either manually or with the deposit all button. This would be insane for training skills like crafting, fletching, and even the ZMI rune crafting, for which it would be better to fill your bank with placeholders. Mod Necro teases the ability for us to pick gear loadouts, like people are able to do in RuneScape 3. If you didn't know, you will be able to load your entire gear with a maximum of 2 clicks to select a preset and confirm. This is only shown for the warned items, and it's yet to be seen if they can potentially extend this to the inventory as well. Mod Husky worked on a visual rework to the collection log to make it a little bit more interactive, providing a cleaner view of all of the categories and how far you are away from completion. The cool thing about it is that if implemented, they also want to make tiers for the collection logs obtained, with Mod West providing models for potential staves to show your ranks. Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and you're looking forward to these updates. If you made it this far, tell me which of these topics you're most excited about and why. Include RSN in your comment and your username for me to do a draw live on Friday stream. A massive shout out to all the people you see on screen for subscribing to this channel monetarily, which all goes towards our monthly supply of tacos to survive. If you want to be part of this list of legends, click the join button below to see all of the cool benefits you can get in the videos, in the live streams, and of course in the Discord. Stay tuned for the next video, which is a pretty special one to celebrate 3 years of non-stop weekly uploads to this channel. I hope you have an amazing day, have an amazing week, and I will see you then. Peace.